Hello and welcome to my new video. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Lex and this is Antillia. Today I'm going to be doing a speed build and kind of sharing the story in my head of the origin of the island, what kind of inspires the theme and everything. So we're going to be working just to the left of the entrance. I'm going to be terraforming around the river mouth and decorating the beach. I've set out a lot of items that I think I could potentially use. These aren't necessarily all going to be incorporated into the build, but I just wanted to set out, you know, like a mood board for the build, I guess. I'm super excited. This is the beach I'm going to be working on. One of my lovely Discord members brought over a ton of flowers for me, so I'm going to move those to the other beach just so they're not in the way, and we can get started with decorating. My first thought is that I want to kind of expand the water right at the river mouth so that it's kind of wide and I have a lot of space to maybe put things in the water if I want to. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up this area, make it like a small lake slash pond. While we're here, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel and for supporting me. I'm so glad that you're enjoying my videos and I hope you stick around. I hope that I continue to make content that you enjoy. I'm connecting this land because I want to be able to create cliffs right behind the lake slash pond. So I'm just going to go ahead and board up the back area. So I've closed off the water. This is the shape we're going to have. And I start to kind of draft out the cliffs, even though I definitely need to board up more water. Also, Olive was using the stage. That was just fun. Anywho, I tried to create the general shape here of like how I want the front of the cliff face to look, where like you'd be looking forward from the beach, but it does evolve a lot throughout the build. These holes that I'm digging are where I'm going to place palm trees. I just wanted to map it out so I could kind of get an idea of where I should place furniture. You'll notice me using some new custom designs during this speed build. I'll try to re-find the codes to put them in the description for you, but I will be making a comprehensive video when I finish Antillia just so that I know exactly which codes I ended up sticking with, so keep an eye out for that. At this point, I still wasn't 100% sure what the whole cliff shape would look like, and I didn't know if I was going to put a second tier of cliffs yet, so I'm trying to make sure I give myself enough space to work with in case I do decide to incorporate different elements on top. here I had a little mini brainstorm session, and I decided that I wanted to put like a I don't know what you'd call it, kind of like an outlet for a tree here. I wanted to put it like going out into the water, like a little peninsula. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure the shape was right, and as I was designing it, I was like, oh my gosh, like an outdoor bath would look super cute here, just like balancing on the water. So that's what I end up going with. After I created the peninsula shape, I decided it would look super cute to have a little floating mini island with a flower and a weed on it. So I made that and went to find a weed, but I thought it was super cute, little floating flower. I was running kind of low on yellow flowers throughout this build, which I do want to incorporate in most of the island, and I didn't have any green mums at the time, so I'm working mostly with white flowers here, but I'll probably go in later and swap out some of the flowers for yellow or green. While I'm sort of fleshing out what I want the terraforming to look like here, the idea for this area is that this beach that I'm working on, the one right to the left of the airport, is where the original villagers for Antillia, the ancient city, landed like centuries ago, millennia ago, one of whom was definitely Coco. She is immortal. But so the idea is that like they camped here, this is where they kind of set up the initial civilization on the island, and then after they expanded, it just became kind of a ruin. So I'm just going to put things here to kind of invoke the idea that it was a previous living space, but that it is completely overgrown and in disuse now. Here, I'm giving myself even more space to work with because I do decide that a second tier of cliffs will look really good with the waterfall that I've already created, and as I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think this little pond on top should be smaller so that the second tier cliff is closer to the first tier waterfall. I also build out the cliff a little bit here so that I can have two trees. You do need an uninterrupted 3x3 square in order to plant a tree, so while the cliff can be rounded, I just didn't have enough room. I was so excited to start decorating the beach itself because I felt like I really had a good grasp on what kind of aesthetic I was going for. With the hammock, this is like a little rest area. I'm gonna put some kids' tents out on the beach to represent the long ago campers. This area is deliberately kind of hidden away, so I decided to link it to the entrance by using this grassy path to kind of indicate where the entrance to the area is. You have to kind of do a horseshoe walk around to get here. I'll show you what I mean when I feature the area as a whole, but yeah, it's deliberately kind of confusing how you get to this area if you're just waking up in a dream. After all the trouble I went through to place that shell partition correctly, I realized that it bothered me that that cliff edge, like the corner, wasn't rounded, so I had to move it all over again. But I think the shell partition is super cute here. It provides a good little background, gives height without being too high. I just loved it. I want this whole area to feel super lush, really foresty, like hidden away, so I try to incorporate as many trees as possible, and hopefully with future builds I will put more foresty elements around the perimeter of this area so that it does feel lush and full of trees, because the cliffs kind of do feel empty just because there's no backdrop yet. But yeah, I think it's going in the right direction. Adding to the lore of the island, I placed this beautiful statue, and I imagine that it is a sort of tribute to like a long forgotten goddess that previous villagers worshipped on the island. I just think that's a cool idea. I love the beautiful statue. It's probably my favorite, and I just think it adds a nice, like, elegant touch to the area, especially since it is in a state of ruin itself. I had originally intended to keep the tents limited to the beach itself, but as I was building, there just wasn't enough room to make it look good and aesthetic on the beach, so I decided to extend this like camping area onto land, and I think it looks super cute. I love that like stone circle code that I found. It looks really good on the grass, I think, especially like the yellower spring grass, so super happy with that. I think the most difficult part of any build for me is when I'm just filling up leftover space, which is pretty much what I'm doing here. I knew I wanted to add these stone lion dogs just because I think they look so grand, and again, the mossy variation of them, super great for the vibe I'm going for, the ancient ruins vibe. So I was just trying to do as much as possible in this area to kind of tie everything together thematically with the entrance and the museum builds that I've already done. In the previous builds, I had used the barbed wire fence and the spiky fence, so I incorporated both here so that they would both be represented. That's what I'm going to try to do throughout the island, is find a way to incorporate both. Maybe not in every build, but in a lot of them. I was obsessed with the campfire on the beach. I thought it looked so cute by the hammock and the tent. Kind of mysterious that it's still going despite millennia of disrepair, but all in all, I found the beach the most difficult part of the build, which is funny because it was also the area I had the most like inspiration for going in. I was like, yeah, I know exactly what the beach is gonna look like, and then I started designing and I didn't have any idea what I was doing, but I think I ended up filling the space pretty well. I tried to tie it to the land by using the same path as a kind of lead-in to the campsite itself, and again, we love the mossy overgrowth kind of vibe of this path because it does emphasize how old everything is. At this point, we're kind of putting the finishing touches on the build as a whole. Also, I was really happy with the time of day that I was wrapping up at. Like, this area just looks so good in sunset, so it was nice to see it like this as I was building. It kind of added to the inspiration, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm just gonna add a few more things to fill up any space that feels awkwardly empty. I sort of inspected the view from the beach and decided that this area was a little bit too empty for me. I wanted it to feel more lush over here because this is visible from the beach itself. So I boarded up more of the water so that I could add trees, and I'll probably try to add some cliffs over here as well in a future build. If you're still watching, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being interested in my builds. I hope you've enjoyed the video so far. We're just about to look at the final result, but as a last touch, I did add a fossil because I thought that would add, like, I don't know, a unique touch to the old vibe that I'm going for. And just like that, the build is done. I'm super happy with how it turned out. I just left everything over where I dropped furniture, like where I placed it out as a mood board. Just left it over there for now, so it's a mess. But here is my map. Here's the terraforming. You can see it just to the left of the airport. I really like how natural and pretty the map is looking at the front right now. So I'm hoping I can keep up that vibe as I continue to terraform the rest of the island. As promised, here's an overhead view of how you get into this area from the entrance. You have to kind of weave your way through the trees, but I did deliberately leave open space so that this part of the island would be accessible to any visitors without like a ladder or anything. I'm thinking I achieved the vibe I was going for, overgrown, old ancient vibes. I just really like the way this whole area, the views, how everything turned out. I'm also happy that I brought the second tier waterfall forward because you can see it's already kind of distant, so I like that I decided to bring that forward a block. But yeah, this was the third, I think, speed build for Antillia. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're excited to see where the island goes. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Peaches is unfortunately not feeling well, but she says hello and she loves you guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!